All right, mates, I'm glad you're here. We've got some cracking good findings to share. So, grab yourself a bevy and let's go. You'll never get lost with a cabbie in London. It's true. If you take a taxi cab there, you can expect the driver to know exactly where they are going. They have to pass a test called the Knowledge, requiring them to memorize 320 routes, 25,000 streets, and over 20,000 landmarks. Cranberries, when ripe, will bounce like little rubber balls. In fact, cranberries are commonly referred to as bounce berries. It's a common ripeness test for farmers and consumers alike. The world's oldest dog lived to be 29.5 years old. A now famous Australian cattle dog named Bluey lived to be 29.5 years old, when the average age for dogs is from 10 to 15 years. The human body of a healthy and normal size and weight, even still, consists of so much fat that it can make up to 7 bars of soap. We have body fat to help us regulate body temperature, produce hormones, stay fed during times of fasting or famine, among other vitals. Before being domesticated, chickens only produced about a dozen, around 12 or so, eggs a year. Now they can produce hundreds. The most prolific egg-laying chicken was in the United States in 1979, laying 371 eggs. Blood banks in Sweden send out text notifications to donors when their blood is being used. Donors have said this makes them feel great, and it also greatly encourages them to go back to donate again.
The oldest known living tree is almost 5,000 years old. It's a bristlecone pine named Methuselah, located near Bishop, California, not far from the Nevada border. This tree has been around well before the Great Pyramids of Egypt were built. A study found that medical surgeons who grew up playing video games more than 3 hours per week make 37% fewer mistakes and have a 42% faster completion rate when performing laparoscopic surgery and suturing. The oldest known living land animal is a tortoise named Jonathan. He was born in 1832 and lives on the island of St. Helena. Sunsets only exist because Earth's atmosphere acts as a prism for light. Particles in the atmosphere scatter short-wavelength violet and blue light away from our eyes, so we can see the other colors on the spectrum, like yellow and orange. Believe it or not, honey never spoils. Archaeologists have discovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old and still perfectly edible. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Let me explain. It takes Venus 243 Earth days to rotate once, but it orbits the Sun in just 225 Earth days.
The Mayan civilization is the oldest civilization known, dating back to 2600 BC. They lived in the Yucatan, which is now known as southern Mexico, Guatemala, northern Belize, and western Honduras. In ancient Rome, one of the most common cooking ingredients was a wild fennel extract called Lasapitium, or laser. It's been said that it was so popular and so delicious that the plant from which it came was harvested to extinction. In medieval times, men, typically elderly men who carried the king's hunting birds, carried them on a wooden frame called a codge. The men were often loyal, trustworthy servants, and is where we get the term old codger from. The Mariana Trench, the deepest part of our ocean, is so deep that you could place Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain, in it, and it would still be covered by water. Pretty extraordinary, if you ask me. Currently, Los Angeles and San Francisco in California are 1,700 miles or approximately 2,700 kilometers apart. However, since the San Andreas Fault is consuming 2 inches of land each year, the two cities will be neighbors in 15 million years. If we're still around, that is. The Amazon rainforest has 2.5 million different species of insects. So if you have an aversion to bugs like I do, you might want to rethink your visit there. Those were brilliant. Don't you agree? We love the work it takes to get these sorted for you. Do us a favor and like this video and share it with a friend. Cheers.